I'm Sean Higgins and welcome to this screencast on using DocBlokr elements. Most experienced web developers will tell you that commenting your code is really important, particularly if someone else is going to be having to work with your code later on, or even if you yourself will have to fix a bug later on or rewrite a bit of code. So in our example code, we've just got a simple PHP class with a class property, a set property method, a get property method, the way to instantiate the class object, and then a couple of different ways of interacting with the class. If you're not familiar with object-oriented programming, I'd highly recommend you check out the article on NetTuts for object-oriented programmers. It provides a nice, easy way to understand and get your head around using objects and classes by using an analogy of a house and a blueprint. If you want a more interactive and step-by-step approach, I definitely recommend that you check out the screencast videos by Jeffrey Way in the PHP Fundamentals course, particularly the lessons on classes and functions. But coming back to our original coding example, we can use the DocBlokr plugin in a number of ways. Firstly, we can use it to insert simple comments, like 1 or 2 line comments, so we can go / asterisk, and then it provides the space for us to enter our comment. This is a simple comment, which is fine, but what we can do is use the DocBlokr plugin in a much more powerful way to document our functions, or in this case our methods, in a standardized format, which makes it easier not only for us but for other developers to come back and look at our code later and work out what's going on. So in this case, we've got our set property method, and we want to insert a nice thorough description for it. And the DocBlokr plugin allows us to do this quite simply by going / asterisk, asterisk. You'll notice that it's now highlighted the code, which basically tells us that it's recognized that there's a function there. So if we then hit enter, it automatically populates a DocBlokr with our function name or method name, which is set property, as well as it's found the parameter new val. So we can now set a description for the set property function. So in this case, we can go this function sets the property. Now the great thing about the DocBlokr plugin is it allows us to tab through the different relevant fields. In this case, we can hit tab and it will take us down to the type in the parameter. So we can then type string, assuming that this new val is a string, and then we can also type in a description. So we can go, this is the default value provided. And then if we need to, we can actually tab backwards without having to go character by character or line by line. So we can actually hold shift and then tab, and that'll take us back to that string. Also, we can then actually tab out of that DocBlokr. The other really great thing about the DocBlokr plugin is the creation of comment decoration, or providing a way of making it easier to find blocks of code. So for example, we have this set property and get property down here, and this is part B of our code, which is hundreds or thousands of lines of code. And we want to make it a little bit easier to find it. One way we can do this is give it almost like a title. And we can do this by going / and then for this we'll say it's going to be part B. So we type part B, and unlike the previous way of using DocBlokr of hitting enter, this time we'll actually hold down control and hit enter, and you can see it's provided that decoration around the part B, so it's a lot easier to find that bit of code. Well, that concludes this edition of our screencast. Thanks for joining us. And for more information about the DocBlokr plugin, check our show notes for more details.